So yesterday we did the Americas and China Pickems. Today we're going to do EMEA and Pacific. I will create groups for them. All the group codes will be in the description. So if you want to join the group and if you win the group, then you can get a gift sub from me for my Twitch channel. But let's dive into it then. EMEA, here we go. Foot versus Heretics. And I am going to go pretty chalk with this. I'm going to go Foot. Now, I think a lot of people expect that this might be the group with some upsets. But I'm not going to do that because I do think Giants are better than Carmine Core and, sorry, Giant X. And I'm going to be picking them. Giant X, kind of my sleeper. That's the team that I'm higher on. Now, Heretics versus Carmine Core, interesting. I think if Heretics were playing with their full roster, maybe I might even consider picking them here. But with a sub in there as well, I'm gonna go K-Corp, I think, with that one, and that would leave us with Foot Giants, and I'm gonna go, surprisingly enough, for Giant X. I truly, yeah, I've decided, even though I think Foot probably are maybe slightly better, I've decided to really show my belief in this team by picking them here, but I will go for Foot qualifying there, so we would have these two teams going through into Group B, and Group B, I mean, I was thinking about it. What's more likely, that BBL upset Na'Vi or Koi upset Team Liquid? I'd probably say it's more likely that Koi upset Team Liquid, but I don't think it's very likely for either, so I will be going for Na'Vi and Team Liquid there. No real surprise. And I think Na'Vi will be better than Team Liquid as well. I mean, this group is kind of pretty straightforward, I think. I think maybe the only non-straightforward game is this one, BBL Koi, where I'm going to go BBL, but I would not be shocked if Koi won that game either. And then it's can BBL beat Liquid? Again, I don't really see it, so I will be going Liquid, kind of like exactly what everyone else has picked, but that's just the way it is. And then finally, Group C, again, I wasn't that high on Gentlemaids in my power rankings, so this is probably pretty obvious, but I think this is how most people probably have it going. Again, there is an advantage to losing this first game, particularly if you are playing against Fnatic here, because Fnatic are going to win this game. And then, so this team who loses this first game out of Vitality and Gentlemaids, hey, you've got extra time to prep, and you get to watch this other game that they play against Fnatic. So you can anti-strat maybe some maps you didn't see before. Like, you know, there is an advantage to it, but I do think that Vitality, even with Estrian playing instead of Trex as well, I still think that they'll be better than Gentlemates and still be able to win that game. Submit. So that's my EMEA Pickems overall. Now, in terms of who I think will actually go to Masters Madrid, and this one has some logic to it behind as well. I'm going to go very, like, normal with saying Fnatic and Na'Vi, but the reason that I'm going to say that it's going to be normal is because I think that whoever finishes second in Group A, whether it is Giants or Foot, as I believe here, I think that they will be the team that wins the play-ins, and therefore, Na'Vi and Fnatic can't play each other. Right, because one of whoever finishes second in this group, they have to play the other two first place teams. So that's how I think it will go. Okay, moving on to Pacific, where I think there is probably a bit more to talk about in general with some of these maybe closer games, because so much of Pacific seems like up in the air, and I think Pacific will be one of the regions I think that people are most wrong about, and could really surprise people with how different it looks to what people expect. Now, I put Bleed third in my power rankings, but as you may have seen, to me, like, all three of these teams are kind of like just like Zeta, Bleed, T1, add in like RRQ, you know, Genji, like, you know, there's just a bunch of teams there in the middle that I think are just like inseparable somewhat. And so this is all just guessing. I put Bleed in third, so I guess I'll go with Bleed, but I don't really truly fully believe that either. So because I just said that, you know what, I'll go T1, even though I don't believe in them either. But I'll go Zeta Division here. No, what, you know what, I will go Bleed. I'm just kind of showing you how much how much I don't know who will win this game, a game that I probably won't see because it's on 6 a.m. My time. But yeah, sorry Global, I do think Global will be going out in 2. Bleed Zeta. Oh man. Oh man. And you know what? Let's believe in Yay. Let's just believe in Yay. Let's believe that Bleed will be better than people expect. And then we got Zeta T1. Oh, I'm sorry, Zeta Division. I'm gonna go T1, I think. And we'd end up with this group, which, I mean, this is extremely tough. And honestly, if you've got something different, I don't really disagree, to be honest, because it's incredibly tough. But there you go. Group B, not as tough. I think that would be fair to say. Obviously, I think it's the wise man's move to just pick against Detonation every single game until they prove that they could actually win a game. And then we've got Team Secret versus Talon. Now, this one, you know, maybe Talon are better than people expect. I did kind of mention this in my power rankings that I think there is a possibility that Talon aren't like as bad as people expect, and like this could be very close, and maybe they even win it. I will go Team Secret because I think that Team Secret, of all these kind of like middle of the pack teams that they could have got, I feel like Team Secret are maybe the most steady. And therefore, I think that they'll be able to beat a team that they probably should be better than. But if this was, a Gen G or an RRQ, I might really consider picking Talon, to be honest. In a bit of an upset there. And I'm kind of giving away that I will pick Talon, obviously, over DFM. And I will be picking DRX over Team Secret. I know a lot of people might think, like, hey, Team Secret got a real chance in this one. For me, this one, I'm still believing that DRX are a tier above all these kind of other teams in Pacific, at least for now. And then we'd have Team Secret versus Talon Part 2. And again, Team Secret, pretty steady team. I will be going for them over Talon here the second time around as well. And then finally, Group C. Now, I'm going to go, Gen G, RRQ. Again, two teams that are in this kind of middle of the pack for me. Two teams that God knows how they'll do, to be honest. Could be a very close game, this one. I would expect this to be a 2-1. I'll go Rex, I guess. But again, losing this game, I think, gives you an advantage because are you going to beat Paper Rex? Probably not. So Paper Rex, of course, pretty automatic pick there. But then you've got RRQ against Gen G again. And again, Gen G now with this kind of like advantage of like the extra time and maybe a bit of extra prep and a bit of extra knowledge of what RRQ were doing. I guess logically that means that I should pick Gen G, but I really want to pick RRQ, so I'm going to pick them instead. But if this does end up playing out and Gen G win, just know that I'll be annoyed because I sensed it. But I guess I'm just not believing in Gen G that much, so there you go. Now, for Pacific, that would give us pretty interesting play-ins. I think whoever goes to play into Pacific is going to be pretty interesting because you get T1, Team Secret, and RRQ here. And again, who the hell is going to win from Team Secret, T1, and RRQ if it did end up like this? I have absolutely no idea. And that maybe makes this a bit more difficult, right, to pick who's kind of going. Because if you do feel solidly about one of these second place teams, you kind of go, oh, that makes sense. Because, for instance, we could get Paper X, DRX here, depending on who goes and who wins. But I'm flipping a coin, basically. If Paper X and DRX don't play each other, I believe that they will go. So that's what I'll say. If they do end up playing each other, I think I'm going to go out on a limb and say that if somehow they played against each other, well, I guess T1 wouldn't be going if that was the case. See, T1 were going to be my pick, but that doesn't make any sense. So I'll say, go on. I'll say RRQ will go if DRX and Paper X happen to have matched against each other. So there you go. Those the Pickems for the games there. Again, they will be incredibly wrong, I'm sure. But if you think you can do better, go and join in the group codes. Just go to the VLR, go to the Pickems, go to group, and then there'll be a little code that you can type in, and all of them will be in the description. I'll do a pinned comment as well because I know that people like that. So yeah, and if you win, if you do end up being first place for this, I will give you a gift sub to the TMV channel for 1 whole month. And you can enjoy no ads, even though I don't run that many ads. But come and join the games. Of course, it starts later today. So come and join for that first game because it will be a fun time. And my life is about to become watching Valorant 24/7.